my name is Patricia, and I'm going to be going over the results of a DNA test result for paternity when you come to Accurate CNS Services, also known as Accurate Screens. So here you can see that this is a sample report. This is what you'll get. It'll be a PDF that you can print out for your own references. At the very top, we have the participants that come in for the test. For this example, we have the mother, father, and child. You can see their names, and here are Jane Doe, Baby Doe, and John Doe. The race of the person and the date of collection, and then a identification number for our internal records. We can always do this with just the father and child if the mother's not available, but if the mother is available and would like to test, she can always test to help out the results for the DNA test for no extra cost for a paternity test. Underneath that, you have the actual results. There's a probability of paternity, which is either 0 typically or 99.99%. If it says 0%, that means that there's a 0% chance that the person listed above is the father of the child listed above. If it says 99.99% certainty, or probability, then there is a 99.99% chance that they are the father. It never goes to 100%. The only way to get 100% is to test every man in the world. So that's the closest you can get, but you can be pretty certain that they are the father in that scenario. Right underneath is pretty much the same information, but written out in text. It's just in sentences. So here we get into the nitty-gritty. We have what's called loci. So when we do this test, we are testing multiple sections of the DNA. And each section of the DNA is called loci, and these are the names of the loci that are being tested. Typically, you need to test at least 8, but you can test more if you need to. It gives you more information. And here in this example, we are testing up to 23 loci. Right next to the loci, if there's an X next to it, a red X, that means that the tested loci for the child and the father don't match, and there's not we don't have a good reason for saying why it doesn't match. Sometimes that can just be from genetic variation. That could just be something happens and there's a mutation in the DNA. That's a pretty common thing that happens. If there's too many sections of the DNA that don't match between the child and the father, that can't be explained by the mother, then that's when we're saying, well, they can't be the father because there's too much genetic variation between these two people. Here, we can see these are the results of the loci for the mother. So for the first row, you can see for loci D3S1358, her DNA is 16 and 17. That's just what the numbers for the names for like what kind of DNA she has for that section. So you get one from each of your parents, one from your mother, one from your father. So she has a 16 and 17, one from her mother, one for her father. And down the line, if there's only one number, like you can see one of them says 30 and the other one says 12, that means she has 2 copies of the same. So she has 2 for that section of DNA. Both of hers are 30. So she got 30 from both of her parents. You can see here from the child, same thing. You can see that for one of them, they have 30. And so that means that from his mother and his father, he got the 30 for that section of the gene. And you can see it matches. And so then there's also the same for the father. And so you can see what their results are. And those are compared to the child that's in the middle column. And they use that information to calculate the probability of paternity. So the more that they have in common in each section of the DNA, the more likely that he is the father. For this example, they all match, and so they're saying that he is most likely the father. Last bit, underneath here, it will be signed by our accredited scientists. If you decide that you want a legal documentation, they will also notarize it, saying that, we definitely are abiding by this document with the results of this test.